film which was a mystery to me on how it will translate on the big screen was the Sanjay Leela Bhansali next, Gangubai Kathiawadi starring Alia Bhatt. The film is based on a chapter from Hussain Zaidi's book Mafia Queens of Mumbai and specifically explores the story of Gangubai from a young tender age. The film on paper is a fascinating story about an individual with a tumultuous origin story. I was only cautious as whenever Bhansali as a creator strays away from historical epics, it can always be a hit or a miss. My favorites of Sanjay Leela Bhansali's filmography include a sense of opulence set in history and folklore, as was the case with films like Bajirao Mastani and Padmavat. This is not to discount that he has proven himself when he experiments, clearly with films like Guzarish, Black, and his first film which many consider to be his best, titled Khamoshi. Bhansali's film Goliyon Ki Ras Leela Ram Leela was my least favourite despite some great performances and beautiful music. Hence, I'm quite cautious before putting a finger on how the film would eventually pan out. As is written in Hussain Zaidi's book Mafia Queens of Mumbai, Gangubai was pushed into prostitution at a very young age, and being a part of the troubling system during the 60s when Mumbai was more or less the playground of the underworld, the most notorious criminals and influential officials had also become her customers. Having run away from home at the age of 16 with dreams of living a happy married life, she was sold for 500 rupees to a brothel. This will also mark the Bollywood debut of Shantanu Maheshwari, who will be playing Gangubai's husband, Ramnik Lal, a man who promises the woman, an aspiring actress by the way, the world for only to squash any form of dreaming as soon as they move to Bombay. The film also is expected to have cameo appearances by Ajay Devgan, Imran Hashmi and Huma Qureshi. I assume that Ajay Devgan will play the role of Kareem Lala, a notorious don who would also have a lot of influence in Kamatipura and provided aid and protection to Gangubai, who he considered to be his sister. The journey of survival in the organized chaos and crime around her will be an interesting world, especially with the vision of Bhansali. The teaser of the film came out and it eventually led to mixed responses, which I would like to address after I talk about my feelings regarding the teaser and why I feel that this is such an important film for Alia Bhatt to prove the naysayers wrong. You have to realize that Alia Bhatt is probably in the most unique predicament she has ever been in her career. After the success of Gully Boy, there were a lot of expectations regarding the films she had in the pipeline. Both Kalank and Sadak 2 have had disastrous results in the box office and in the digital space respectively. The toxic nature of the news last year also developed this sense of delusion among the Indian audience that at one point of time loved the actor for her performances but despised her now simply for what she said on a talk show. This eventually progressed to a sense of public hostility regarding the actor, which had nothing to do with her capability and flawless performances. The role of Gangubai in a Sanjay Leela Bhansali film is probably the biggest risk Alia can take to prove everyone what a capable performer she is. Mostly through her roles, Alia has played vulnerable and sensitive characters, and there's no denying the fact that she has been fairly successful at it. This is the first time where Alia has to put forth an intimidating presence on the big screen, something like what Shabana Azmi did with Godmother, which will be a huge challenge and something new for her. What I love about her dialogue delivery in the teaser is that there is a sense of restraint and confidence, contrary to how actors may perceive the role and make the same character loud, constantly angry and animated. The beautiful visuals and set design of Sanjay Leela Bhansali films are a given, and visually Gangubai looks beautiful. But let's get to the biggest argument regarding the film. People are talking about the movie and the title role and arguing that Alia Bhatt has a baby face and that they don't feel mildly challenged or intimidated. They are arguing that an actor like Tabu or Vidya Balan would have been perfect for the role. This argument is flawed from a casting aspect altogether, as Gangubai's story requires a young actor, a young face, and through the trauma and abuse makes the anarchy that exists around her new normal. Alia in that way actually is the appropriate casting, as the journey of Gangubai commences from when she was 16 years old. There is also an argument that Divya Datta should have been cast in the role, and what a stellar performance she would have put forth. While Divya Datta is a phenomenal actor, this is the same argument that people put forth in wanting to cast Pankaj Tripathi instead of Hrithik Roshan in Super 30. Would you take the risk of backing such a massive project and assuming that the Indian audience would come storming into the theatre? I'm sorry, but these are thoughts that stay in the Twitter bubble but never translate into ticket sales in cinemas. So while we would like to believe that massive commercial Bollywood projects should give the opportunity to talent rather than anything else, we would also be naive not to acknowledge the power of star-led films and how it translates into larger revenues. Sanjay Leela Bhansali films have also contributed in making the audiences see actresses in a new light. Everybody fell in love with Aishwarya Rai in Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam. He is responsible for Rani Mukherjee's career Alia's best role in Black. He changed the public perception of the capability of an actor like Deepika Padukone, and even has the ability to create gems from supporting roles that eventually stay with you far longer than the main story. Case in point, Priyanka as Kashibai in Bajirao Mastani. The point is that as a creator, the man has the ability to churn out gems, especially for female roles. While I acknowledge that it is a big risk with Gangubai, and I am hopeful that both the creator as well as the actor bring forth an exemplary and compelling piece of work. If you ask me honestly, when I heard in 2017 that Sanjay Leela Bhansali was in the development of a story which was originally titled Hira Mandi and Priyanka Chopra was the first choice of the film, I was absolutely stoked, as objectively I would like to confess that Priyanka is a more versatile and capable actor than Alia. This is just my personal opinion. My second and final skepticism is regarding the route that the filmmaker takes. Technically, if you look at it, Gangubai is not a saint in any way. Abuse and trauma leads her to basically get indoctrinated into her surroundings and, let's be clear, become a whorehouse madam and do everything in her ability to keep her business going. I hope they don't take the route of painting the character as simply a noble and courageous individual with little to no flaws. Individuals hardened through experience can still develop empathy among the audience without you whitewashing the character completely. In conclusion, I would like to say that I'm honestly more hopeful than anything else regarding the film. I think it visually looks spectacular. I think this is a role where Alia has to completely blow it out of the park and prove to the naysayers that she is the same actor that you were singing praises of just a few years ago. This will be a perfect opportunity to do so, because if it does falter or underdeliver, it will give a rise to the same negativity and toxic environment. What were your thoughts regarding the teaser? Let me know in the comment section below. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.